marketer and YouTuber, I guess. Thanks. Hey, look, if you guys were with me about, I dropped a video like 4 hours ago. Today's April 15th, 2020, and we're in the middle of the coronavirus, or COVID-19 as they call it. Hey, look, I've told you guys about the get your get your payment on the website, the economic impact payment, and I got a lot of response. You guys are saying that you're getting a message. Just keep trying, guys. It wasn't supposed to be available until Friday. It was 2 days early. I was just having to be checking. I just figured I'd drop a video to let you guys know. So don't shoot the messenger. If you keep getting it, one guy said he did get some traction. He got in or something, but he said he got to keep trying it. But then they might block you out and you have to go back. Come back in 24 hours later. But anyway, keep trying it. Keep checking that out. Hopefully you'll get some resolve. Hey, listen, read this story. This is not a feel good story at all. I can't believe that they're doing this. I think it's pretty crappy, and I'm sure you will too if it pertains to you. But this video is going to be about child support. Look, if you owe child support, child support, you're paying child support, more than likely, and I know mostly it's going to pertain mostly to the guys, but also some women pay child support. But look, don't sound like you're going to be getting a stimulus check. It really doesn't, unless for somehow the government don't know that you are paying. Maybe you moved to a different state, or you may get lucky that way. But for the most part, more than likely you won't get a stimulus check. And also to add with that, your unemployment. If you file for unemployment, you'll probably get 50% of that. The other thing, you may get a stimulus check, and there's a couple things I heard, but look, I've been doing a lot of research. You may get a stimulus check, but you could split half of it. It just depends. But I'm just going to say, if you owe child support, it doesn't sound like you're going to get one. And unfortunately, the spouse of the recipient, the other parent, more than likely that money is going to go back to the court that's going to be holding the payment, and it just depends when it's going to be dispersed. I know it's crappy, man, but I found this in the couple different sites, but USA put this article out this morning, and I just want to kind of go through with you guys. If you're behind on child support, either you won't get a stimulus check or you receive a reduced one. The reason: while the CARES Act suspends the debts like overdue student loans or back taxes that typically lead to garnishment or tax refund, it doesn't apply to delinquent child support payments. That means the government relief checks will still be garnished if you're overdue. And some spouses who are filing joint tax returns with their late paying partners are upset their stimulus money is being trimmed or withheld, even if they typically qualify for a refund in a situation like tax refund. Oh man! Even if your spouse solely is responsible for the debt, a shared tax refund or stimulus check could be at risk. If someone owes back child support and they're due a stimulus payment, they will offset the check for the amount that you owe, says Christina Taylor, head of the operations at Credit Karma Tax. It's a way to ensure that people who need relief the most, like a lower income person with children, is able to get it, she says. Excuse me. Normally, if you file taxes jointly with a spouse who owes back child support, that would be taken out of the tax rebate. You could apply for injured spouse relief. You would include the form when filing joint tax returns. If you qualify, you could receive a share of the refund or a stimulus check rather than having the entire amount go towards the late child support payments. That's how the IRS calculated stimulus checks in the past. In the global financial crisis in 2008, the IRS allowed those who file injured spouse relief forms with tax returns to receive stimulus relief. but it's different this time. Daniel Saxon, who has an 11-year-old son, typically filed for injured spouse relief every tax season to get her portion of the tax refund. The 37-year-old who lived in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, says she called the Treasury Department's offset program hotline and was informed her stimulus check was being held, even though she didn't owe any debt. It's crazy. That's created more financial stress since she lost her income from not being able to clean homes because of the social distancing measure from the coronavirus pandemic. Her husband owes roughly $7,000 in back child support for two children from a previous marriage. His wages have been garnished by about $278 per paycheck for current and past due amounts, she says. Owing child support comes with a stigma, added Saxon, who was expecting a $2,000 stimulus payment that would include herself, her husband, and her child. People automatically assume you're just someone that doesn't want to take care of your kids. That's not true for my husband. He's never run from his responsibility. He just fell on hard times financially. The IRS didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. I mean, of course they didn't, right? Why doesn't injured spouse relief apply? One possible reason experts say is the IRS hasn't issued guidance yet on injured spouse relief, according to Lisa Green Lewis, a certified public accountant at TurboTax. The IRS typically works with the Office of Child Support Enforcement, so the agency is aware of who has fallen behind on child support. If possible, the IRS is still awaiting guidance from the OCSC on how to handle the injured spouse support relief. Good grief. Couldn't they figure this out before this all happened? We just haven't seen the type of guidance on injured spouse relief this time around for the stimulus checks, Green Lewis says. The Administration for Family and Children, which oversees the Office of Child Support Enforcement, didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. Of course they didn't. Shanna Kidwell, 34-year-old mother in Tiffin, Ohio, says her family is $4,400. Her family's $4,400 stimulus payment, which includes $500 for each of her four children, was held by the IRS because her husband owes $45,000 in back child support for two children from a previous relationship. Before the stimulus checks, the government took about $300 from his biweekly paycheck for child support. Now his stimulus check and tax refund will also be garnished. The stimulus could have helped us get caught up on bills, says Kidwell, who recently had surgery. The government needs to quit punishing families of the person that owes a debt. My kids have nothing to do with this, and it's unfair. They're paying for it. Does the stimulus money go to the ex? The stimulus payment that is reduced or withheld by child support will go to the appropriate collecting office for the taxpayer state, Taylor says. From there, the collecting officer will issue the money to the custodial parent, the person due the child support. The time it takes for the money to arrive may vary by collecting office, which varies by state. If you're behind on child support, does it affect unemployment? Another concern for Americans facing numbers of layoffs is whether late child support is taken from unemployment checks. The answer is yes. If you're claiming unemployment and a child support order is in place, you can have your child support payments withheld. Some states will limit back child support collections to 50% of each check so that the person who owes the child support will still collect unemployment, while other states may garnish differently for back child support. Expert advise anyone in this situation to check with their state's law around the unemployment benefit garnishing. It's terrible, man. I looked this up too for you guys. This is something I found. Just Googled it. Since the child support payments are an expense, your payments will not increase the amount of employment benefits, of course. If you're delinquent on your child support payment, then the amount you owe may be deducted from your unemployment benefits. Your state governs how much can be deducted. Up to 60% of your paycheck can be withheld for child support under federal rules. This percentage drops to 50% if you also pay support to a spouse. However, it goes up by 5% if you owe 3 months or more of arrears. And I know it's not great news, man. And I wanted to put it out there first when I first saw this. I know it's not great news, but maybe you can make some provision, make a few calls. Hopefully, they haven't found out or know that you owe. I don't know, but it doesn't look good, guys. And I know mostly guys are to the ladies too who pay child support, but I know it's crappy, especially at this time. Um, one thing I did see. Another thing they said is they said um, if you can get something in, you have to sign a form about you know doing your child support that you are unemployed. You could stop some of this from happening. But like I said, that's secondhand information. But check that out. Look, hey man, this is Tony O making sense of credit, making sense of making money online. I'm sorry it's not better news, guys, but I wanted I wanted to give you guys the news and let you know what's going on. So I know a lot of you guys were waiting for these checks, man. I know it's not great news, but hopefully maybe you can do something. If you and otherwise, don't spend the money because more than likely you aren't going to get it. I know sometimes we do things that put things out there because we're expecting the money. So make sure you're aware of that. But hey, man, be safe. Stay 6 feet back. Wear a mask when you go out. Until next time, guys. Tony O, making sense of credit, making sense of making money online. Before I go, look, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. You get a lot of good information and a lot of good content about credit and making money online. Among other things, I got about 6, 8, 7 videos during the coronavirus that good tips you can use. Smash the like button. Make a comment if you feel like it. To everyone else, and then most of all, share it with your friends and family. Make sure if you know someone who's going through the situation, to share it with them. Until next time, guys. Peace.